Hi, I'm Simone and I'm the Zen Mommy. I help people with spiritual awakening and navigating your ascension. And I want to thank all my subscribers for being here today. And if you're new to my channel, you can press the bell button, subscribe first, and then the button will notify you of my next video if you resonate. So this is kind of like a question comment. I want to read it, okay? First off, it may come off a little negative, but I feel that it's just something I wanted to talk about, and maybe I'll post this video or not, but it's just something I wanted to talk about. Okay. With all due respect, if someone can come into your life and tell you to abandon your beliefs, maybe you never really believe. I really appreciate your videos, but when you talk about your transition from believing in your faith in Jesus Christ, it shows you can easily be influenced. In life, there will be many times for us to be tempted into changing what we believe. The funny thing is that even an unbeliever and atheist realizes that faith is the substance of things hoped for, that things are substance that things are made of. No matter what, we all need faith, and may hope and faith in Jesus, who's been merciful and merciful to me. My spirit, the Holy Spirit, leads me and guides me to all truth. Okay. So, of course, on first look, it may look like a negative attack, but it really isn't. Okay. So, I do understand, because of my law of attraction videos, that see, my channel is a channel about awakening and ascension. It's for people going through an awakening and ascending to a higher consciousness, and mostly for people who are the term star seeds, which people who came to this planet to help to help raise the vibration of humanity, light workers. Okay, so there are times that I get people who saw me because of my law of attraction. They may have liked me, they may have resonated with my spirit, but then they listen to one of my videos and it might cut them, okay, because I came out of a religious system, okay, Christianity, and the Christian church I was in was a cult. Now, I didn't know it was that. To me, it was everything. That was my ticket to heaven. That was what I was told. And so, to address her kind of question, if someone can come into your life and tell you to abandon your beliefs. And she's referring to a video where I talk about how the first time I heard my spirit guide or higher self, it was right after my awakening. And I remember I got enveloped with I heard this voice, in my mind. And it's like when the spirit communicates with you, it sometimes sound like your thoughts, but you'll know when it's not a thought. And it said, abandon your beliefs. And I knew immediately what it meant by abandon your beliefs. And it said, once you abandon your beliefs, it said that you will open up into unlimited potential, and you'll learn so much. But you have to abandon the belief. And that was the message I got from my spirit guide. And let me tell you something, okay? Jesus Christ was Lord to me, okay? Regardless of what anybody says, I was there as a child. It was the first thing I knew, okay? The first religion I knew. And that I was like reading my Bible. I was asking Bible questions. I was one of the ones that was the goody girls. And I loved reading the Bible. I loved reading the mysteries. And so, yeah, I called myself a Christian, and I truly believed that Jesus was the way, and that my only opportunity to go to heaven was to mortify the deeds of this body and the sin, and eradicate sin out of my life, and I'd go to heaven one day. But if I didn't do that, I was going to go to hell, which is, going out of existence or in a burning fire. Okay. So that scared me when I was little to be like, okay, let me listen to this, what they're telling me. We have to understand we come into this world as a blank slate, and we don't even remember our true nature, our true selves, who we truly are. So our first impressions of life are stuff we absorb up. We absorb what we're taught. So if I was born, I went to a foster home that practiced Christianity into this church, and they introduced me here, and I was made to go there, and I was forced. I couldn't stay home. I didn't have a freedom to choose. But after I chose, we received something called the baptism of the Holy Ghost, and I felt the Spirit, which I thought was the Spirit of God. I was like, oh my God, I felt it, and that is the thing that convinced me. Okay, I was like, oh no. And they said that only this place we can get this feeling. And when they told me that, I believed them. I was a child, I was impressionable, and I was developing my first belief system. Okay, and my belief system wasn't my true self belief system, but it was the belief system that someone told me that this is the way, this is what you have to believe. And I believed in those things, and yet I was there. And I started to not resonate with some of the stuff that I would read, some of the stuff that they would say. But I told myself this question: lean not to thy understanding. It doesn't matter if you don't feel like it's right. You should believe, because you have to have faith. And so that's exactly what I was doing, you know. But there was things that didn't resonate with my soul. Like, we had to cut off our family members, our friends, we believed that only our church was the chosen ones, and everyone else was going to perish and die, get cast into the lake of fire. But it was us. So we weren't really to associate with the people outside of the church until they came in. And so I felt like there was good people out there. I felt my heart was torn, but they told me that this was it. So yes. So maybe my belief system, like you said, maybe you never really believed. Maybe I wouldn't say I never really believed, because that belief system was so hard that I stayed depressed for years, thinking I would go to hell because they put me out of that church. And I went to a therapist, and I was just like, I'm going to be depressed forever. I'm suicidal. I'm this because my church, I'm going to go to hell. And she said, you're not going to get better. I'm like, why? She's like, because when you have a belief that strongly, you have to go with that belief. You can't just change that. So yes, I was suicidal and depressed because they told me I was going to hell. Okay. And because there was no other place to be saved. So a belief system is something you get in your mind, right? You believe, it's a thought you think over and over again till you begin to believe in it. And we go through millions of belief systems. It might be a belief system of, oh, I think that being skinny is pretty. That's a belief system. Or I think that I am fat. That is a belief system. Whether I'm big or not, I'm only manifesting what I believe in. So we are creators. So whatever belief system you choose to involve yourself in, that is a very real belief system to you. But what happened? I had an awakening, right? And so when my awakening came, do you know, when I heard that voice, I was like, no, Jesus is Lord. But as I began to awaken, my soul began to, my soul started to call me to my truth, to who I truly was. And as I began to awaken, I began to evolve and to raise my consciousness. And as I started to raise my consciousness, I started to see that the reason why I had to abandon the belief system, not downing you for your belief system, not saying it's wrong, but that belief system was holding me back. Me believing that only one people, one this, one that was holding me back. Now I realized my true self, my soul, my being. I was learning that what I was truly believing wasn't that. What I was truly believing was to find who I truly was. Search for my truth. And so, let's see. I think I just wanted to address that, but let me see. I put your videos, and thank you for that. It shows you can be easily influenced. I wouldn't say that, but let's go talk about easily being influenced. Now, okay, I was a child, I was easily influenced, don't you think? Also, that's also a journey that I had to go through, my own personal journey. And guess what? I also learned is something like that. See, when you begin to take this path, to work on yourself, to find yourself, to evolve into your highest consciousness, the spirit takes you on a journey to help eradicate things like being easily influenced. So, and the reason why, how I noticed, I did start to think for a moment, I was like, oh my God, am I easily being influenced into this? Is this going to be a whole new code, opening up to spirituality? So I went through that phase for a second. Then I started getting signs and synchronicities. Things started to stick out to me. Like really, the spirit was talking to me so strong. And then I started hanging out with this spiritual group, a spiritual friend who had a lot of spiritual experience. And while I was hanging out with them, I began to notice that I started to question. I would talk to my friend who I thought was more higher consciousness than me. And when I started to talk to her about things, then I started to question myself. I started to question my higher self. Like, no, my higher self told me it's different than that. Why am? And so it really, I went on a whole journey, you know, kind of following someone else. And my spirit showed me I was miserable. Like, I didn't like debating with my own higher self. And it got to the point where my spirit showed me, like, this was the lesson. Okay. You have to understand, you have to trust you. If you can't trust you, you can't trust nobody else. You have to go on this journey and seek self, develop a relationship with your higher self, with your true self. And then you have to evolve your consciousness and trust yourself in your faith, in your journey here. Sorry about that interruption. My son is waking up, so I'm going to close this down now. But I don't know. I just kind of wanted to talk about that because, you know, my channel, I understand I attract everybody because I talk a lot about the law of attraction. But my channel, the goal is the awakening. And, you know, if you can respect my belief, I'll respect yours. And, you know, we just have to look at it that way. If you resonate and you like me, you just always tell the people who watch, go with what resonates with you. You might can pick something out of what I say that might help you on your journey. But if you're not ready to make the changes that I've made, then you follow you. Just like I was saying, you have to start doing this journey to learn your true nature, your true self, how to trust you. And so this is a journey to the infinite self. Okay, this is a journey. This is about evolving consciousness. And, you know, I'm here to help, you know, and help raise the vibration of humanity. And thank you all for watching. Peace and love. Namaste.